Hello and welcome back to Ultima 7, the Black Gate and Forge of Virtue. Unfortunately, my last recording got corrupted or something. I don't quite understand, but my recording software just crashed, I guess, and didn't save it. So, unfortunately, that is lost forever. And rather than go back and do it again, we're just going to keep going, because all I really did was go around and talk to about the first half of, I don't even know if that's true, a third of the people in Britain, and didn't learn too much exciting. We talked to the people at the farmer's market, we talked to the guy who sells fish and chips, we talked to the healer here, and the provisioner. Not much else stands out to me. Oh, and the trainer here, who is the one that we want to come to if we're ever trying to train and get better at magic as well as combat. So we didn't really learn much other than just missing some general dialogue, which I don't really want to go through again, so we're just going to keep going. The other big thing that we've learned is there is a lot of great stuff to be taken if we come back at night or when no one's around. So that's good to know. So we're going to keep traveling around Britain and see who else is around and what's up. This looks like the inn. Whoops. Hello. You see a filthy beggar who flashes you a grin as though you were his best friend in the whole world. Name. I'm called Snaz. Job. I have no job, for I'm a beggar. For a gold coin I shall tell thee a joke. Sure. Dost thou wish to hear one? Sure. All right, here is one. Fellowship joke. I was discussing philosophy with a fellowship member the other day, and he asked me, "What, in thine opinion, is the height of stupidity?" So I said, "I do not know. How tall art thou?" No, really, I make sport of the fellowship, but I mean it sincerely. Lord British joke. For a gold coin I'll tell thee another. Dost thou wish to hear it? Sure. I was at the castle of Lord British the other day, and I noticed he has 3 large pools. So I asked him why he doth have 3 of them. He pointed to the first one and said the first one was to swim in cool water. The second was for friends to swim in warm water. I noticed that the third pool was empty, and I asked him why. He said that it was for people who could not swim. Weston joke? For a gold coin I'll tell thee another. Dost thou wish to hear it? Sure. A man named Weston came to me deep in perplexity. He told me he wanted to steal some apples from the royal orchards, but if he did, he would feel bad about it in the morning. So I gave him this advice. Sleep until noon. Weston. We got him out of jail. Weston now sits in the castle prison, where he shall most certainly rot for the rest of his life. No, we got him out. Try as I might, I cannot best that little jest. Mage joke. How many of these do you have? For a gold coin I'll tell thee another. Dost thou wish to hear it? Yeah, sure. Whilst traveling on the road I came across a mage. He looked as if he had not eaten for days and complained of a terrible pain in his stomach. So I told him his stomach was empty. If he put something in it, he would feel better. Later he complained to me of a headache. I said his headache was caused by a similar problem as his stomach. No doubt it had hurt him so much, because being a mage there was nothing left in it. Sullivan joke. Thou art a brave avatar. Dost thou wish to hear another? Yes. Didst thou knowest that the notorious Sullivan the trickster recently became a father? It is true, they say the baby has his father's eyes and his mother's nose, but they made the baby give them back. Gold joke. I have amused thee so far. Wouldst thou like to hear another? It is a joke about gold. Yep, we'll keep going. What was that? I don't know if you guys heard that beep, but I just did, and I'm worried it was my software again. Thank thee very much. Now, goodbye. Dost thou get it? Ha 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 ha. If not, it would be my pleasure to repeat it. Wouldst thou like to hear the gold joke again? No. I see thou art becoming wise to the ways of show business, my lord. Good day to thee. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think I want to talk to you anymore. Jesus. You see a sour-faced innkeeper who looks at you in all of his, who looks at you as if all of his problems were your fault. Name? My name is James.
I'm the proprietor of the inn.
Proprietor?
It is just another way of saying that I'm the man who is the desk clerk, which thou mayest think is an easy job, although it is not, I can assure thee.
Not easy?
When one is an innkeeper, one must run around all day long. If anyone wants anything, thou art the one who must take care of it for them.
Run around?
I spend so much time running around that I have gotten a bad foot.
Desk clerk.
Of course, being desk clerk is not all I do. I must spend all day listening to people talk about their problems as if I am supposed to solve them.
Listening?
That is correct, my lord. So if thou dost have a problem, allow me the courtesy of not having to hear all about it. Now, what was it that I was saying again?
Solve?
Maybe solving problems is an easy task for other innkeepers, but not only am I bad at it, I have mine own problems as well.
What are your problems, James?
I do not like my job. I never wanted to be an innkeeper. I just wanted to keep the place going after my father passed on. Now that I am married to Cynthia, I am more tied down than ever.
Cynthia?
Do not mistake my words, my lord. I love Cynthia with all mine heart, but there are times I feel I am too young to be married. Besides, I know I cannot be a good husband for her.
What do you mean, good husband?
How can I make Cynthia happy on the pittance an innkeeper makes when all day long she is counting all that money at the mint?
Oh, the mint?
I know I cannot. I know the nature of the heart, my good friend. After being exposed to such large sums of money, she shall begin to covet it. As I cannot provide it, she shall leave me to give her heart to a wealthy man, perhaps a merchant or a nobleman. The thought of it makes my blood boil.
Happy?
Already I can sense she is worried about our marriage. I know that there is something wrong between us.
Innkeeper?
Instead of being an innkeeper, I always secretly wanted to be a pirate. When I was not sailing the seas, I would be living in Buccaneer's Den.
A lot of prompts for Buccaneer's Den here.
As I understand it, they have an excellent house of games there, as well as opulent baths. Or at least so I have heard from Gordon, the man who sells fish and chips.
Yeah, we spoke to Gordon last time. I guess you guys might have missed some of the Buccaneer's Den prompts.
Pirate? Thou knowest for certain that few, if any, people would pour their troubles out to a pirate. If I were a pirate, I could get this bad foot replaced with a peg, too.
I'd like to know more about your foot, but it doesn't seem to be an option. Inn?
This place is called the Wayfarer's Inn. It has a long and substantial history in Britain. If thy grandparents ever came to town, this is probably where they stayed.
Alright, well, we don't want a room, so we're going to say goodbye.
Oh, thou shalt just come back again wanting something else from me. I just know it.
You kind of suck, James. The Wayfarer's Inn, the Register, John Paul of Serpent's Hold, Horf of Serpent's Hold, Featherbank of Moonglow, Travis of Buccaneer's Den, Lord Shimino. Thus, this is where Shimino must have been staying. Lord Shimino. Nighttime. Do we need boots? Someone does, I think. Nope, we're good. Doo-doo-doo. Whoops. Every time. A book. The Art of Field Dressing by Creston, forward by Lady Lee. I think I probably read this last time, but that's gone now, so I'll read it again. Though I personally advocate the use of healing herbs in more sterile bandaging environments, the steps told in this treatise will suffice until better healing care becomes available. Follow Creston's steps carefully, and that will have no trouble forming a reliable, if not perfect, way to prevent serious blood loss. Remember, however, that there is no care as good as clean sheets, a sturdy bed, and proper attention. Lady Lee of Serpent's Hold. As long as one has shears, cloth, and a conscious mind, that will have little fear of bleeding to death on the corpse-littered fields of battle. Simply cut the cloth into strips and bandages. Quickly placing the center of the bandage over the wound, wrap the strip around and around the bleeding area. As the cloth begins to soak up the blood, it will combine with the natural healing aspects of the body to staunch the flow of blood and to quicken the healing process. In no time at all, thou wilt be ready to travel again, though I advise this travel to be to the house of a competent healer. Yeah, and that is actually true, like in game mechanics. If you can make bandages out of cloths, and as long as you have shears and, well, a cloth, and then you can use the bandages to heal party members. But bandages only do a very small amount of healing, so you should in fact go to a healer's home afterwards. These are nice arrows. I like arrows. This is the farmer's market. I don't need to take the food, so I won't. That's where we'll go if we ever end up needing to buy food, which I actually did last time. I probably didn't need to, but I bought some mutton because you get the most bang for your buck. I think, anyways, that way. These look like songs. Musician must live here. These rooms are boring. Oh, fellowship medallion. We definitely don't want that. It bugs me when it's dark, which I guess is the point. You're not supposed to be able to see as well. Oh, this looks like fun. A book. Collected plays by Raimundo. Housed inside this anthology of stage works are such greats as Three on a Codpiece, The Trials of the Avatar, The Plagiarist, Clue, Thumbs Down, and several other prize-winning pieces. For convenience in production, several suggested costumes and makeup techniques are listed in the back. Play Directing, Analysis, Communication, and Style by Francis Hodge. Within the pages of this highly respected textbook, one can find the highly touted and sometimes controversial methods of staging a play. Written by an eminent professor emeritus from a university in a distant land, this book is considered by most thespians as the definitive source book on directing. And on Acting by Laurence Olivier. Within the pages of this tome are the theories and philosophies of acting, as well as personal anecdotes written by a noted thespian of a distant land. Apparently this book was one of the many brought to Britannia by Lord British. Boring. Whoops. Jesse's Book of Performance Art. Did they just put all the artists on the far left? Is that what's going on? This anthology is filled with many performance art scripts. The author, a controversial and eccentric Britannian actor, maintains that many aspects of both acting and performance art are quite similar. Consider the actor. He uses dialogue, facial changes, and movement to convey his lines. His actions, called a performance, combined with the playwright's script, express an emotion or a message. The performance artist uses the very same techniques. The one possible exception is that he is both the writer and the performer. In fact, the practice of many facets of performance art can better an actor's skill. Ooh. Well, that's nice. You didn't have to do that for us. Thank you. This is Sentry's house. I think we're almost done. In terms of getting to know everybody. Looks like another trainer. You see a lean young fighter with a rather dashing flair. Name. My name is Zella. Job. I am a trainer. I specialize in hand-to-hand combat. After all, a fighter never knows when he might encounter an adversary and suddenly realize he is unarmed. I call it boxing. Boxing is not only a method of fighting, it is an art. Combat? The field of battle contains many arenas. Almost any situation could arise. Every fighter should be knowledgeable and adept at many forms of combat. I have my own theory of fighting. What's your theory? Just as a castle is built from the foundation up, so must a fighter. One cannot simply begin by learning to fight with weapons. Weapons are merely an extension of a person's extremities. A true fighter learns by using those extremities first. Extremities? Thine arms, thy legs, thy fists. This is what makes boxing. Fighter? Make no mistake, fighters are made, not born. All the natural talent in the world will avail thee not if one does not have the heart and the will to win. Part of that will is the courage to seek out thine own limitations and strive to better them. Arenas? All the various arenas of combat, all the various styles one may learn in fighting with various weapons, are not fighting in its purest form. To truly be a great fighter, one must go to the source of all fighting knowledge. I don't want to train, so bye-bye. Good day to thee. Zella. Ooh. That's fun. Some healing potions and some bandages. What do you got in here, Zella? Nothing interesting. Okay, so we'll come back for some of that. What's this? Ah. The ceremony begins as Batlin stands before the gathered fellowship members. The hall fills with thunderous cheers. They look at him with a mixture of awe and sheer adoration. Seems like we've stumbled into a fellowship meeting. And I do mean that. Stumbled. I didn't realize that this was the fellowship meeting, and then once we came in, we may as well see what's going on. They look at him with a we did that. Batlin stands and basks in the warm reception for a moment, a triumphant smile on his face. With a slight gesture of his hand, the crowd becomes quiet. "It is good to see you here this evening," Batlin says. "Surely you make me feel proud to be a part of what we lovingly call the Fellowship." There is another eruption of applause. "In thine heart be glad, for thou dost walk with the Fellowship." The people of Britannia live in a fevered state of illusory thoughts and emotions, but those whom I look upon here tonight are seekers of what is good and true in the world. They walk the path which leads to becoming truly cognizant. But how dost thou find thy way? Ask any fellowship member, and they will tell thee the path to complete awareness is easy to find. One must apply to one's life the triad of inner strength. The triad of inner strength is a series of 3 values that can bring to mind a perfect state of sanguine cognition. The first value is strive for unity. When the totality of the people of the world want to accomplish something, then it becomes done. Thus, the people of the world all strive towards the same ends. There is nothing that is impossible. Just think of it. A world where any dream can be fulfilled, any good can be achieved. But as thou canst see plainly by looking at our own sad society, when the people of the world are disunited, it is a miracle that anything gets accomplished. The second value is trust thy brother. Thou must surrender thy fear, prejudice, and suspicion. Look to thine own self. Before thou dost question anything, question thyself. The world is a place where the balances of nature here are at work to protect thee every second without thee even realizing it. What canst thou accomplish in this world if thou dost spend all thy time questioning thy brother? Is he working as hard as I? What are his true motivations? As thou dost waste thine energies wondering, he sees thee and starts wondering these same things about thee. Thus is the world diminished. The third value is worthiness precedes reward. There is not one among us who is without desire. Much of the misery in the world can be traced to unfulfilled desires. But one moment, why dost thou deserve what thou dost desire? Most people can get what they are worthy of in this life.
If thou art not worthy of thy desire, then thou shouldest not be surprised if thy desires are unfulfilled. If thou dost become worthy only, then thou hast If thou dost become worthy only, then thou hast become only fulfilling thy become open to fulfilling thy desires. Desire is a strange thing. Many long for things they do not really want. What they really desire is worthiness itself. I have just told thee all that thou dost need to follow the triad of inner strength. The lessons are simple. The true measure of thine understanding comes in how absolutely thou wilt apply them to thy life. Thou now knowest all thou wilt ever need. Thou dost not need the art of arcane knowledge of the dying art of magic. Thou dost not need the unsure hand of the healer and his limited knowledge. All thou wilt ever need is to continuously seek out the best in thyself and to live amongst those that would do the same. Only then art thou truly walking with the fellowship. Now I think would be a good time to hear the words of our fellowship members, to hear them share with us how the fellowship is bringing positive change to their lives. The fellowship has shown me that I was afraid of myself and that I had to open myself up to life experiences, says Candace. The fellowship helps me be more honest with people, says Patterson. Thank thee for sharing, Patterson. The fellowship has taught me to be how to better perform my duties as caretaker of the royal orchards, says Fig. We've heard about Fig.
The fellowship has taught me to first and foremost treat people with respect, says Gay. We met Gay too, but I forget who she is.
After joining the fellowship, I learned how to be a man's man, says Grayson.
I forget what he does too, but we did meet him last time.
The fellowship is helping me back from the brink of personal and financial oblivion, says Gordon.
He's the pirate who sells fish and chips from Buccaneer's Den.
Right thou art, brother.
The fellowship has freed me from the illusory appeals of mediocrity, says Sean, the jeweler. In the fellowship, I am learning that I need to devote my life to a special purpose, says Millie. This whole ceremony and everyone in it doth give me the willies.
'Tis a sad thing to see so many people who have nothing else better in their lives than blindly following this dubious spiritual leader. 'Tis sad that Britannia has fallen so far as to leave itself open to a group like this fellowship.
From watching Batlin and the others, you get the feeling that the fellowship ceremony is going to last long into the night. Now would be a good moment to slip away without drawing much attention to yourself. And we shall. That was awful. I believe. Thou must believe. Okay. So we are just about done talking to everybody. There's a few more people left, I believe, and it's getting close to nighttime. So we should have the chance to go stock ourselves up, let's say. But I think now is a good time to end the episode, and we'll do those things next time. See you then.